From Studio B on the campus of Washington State University, this is your weekly sports update on WSU's Cougar Corner.
Murrow News 8. I'm Nick Bartlett.
And I'm Derek Baker. Thanks for joining us.
Last night, Mike Leach became the latest of a string of college coaches to interview for the head coaching job at the University of Tennessee. Reports say that Leach met with Tennessee Athletic Director John Currie to discuss the job. Leach did not comment when asked if he accepted the job, and this morning, Tennessee fired their athletic director. As of now, no deal has been made.
In other WSU news, WSU wide receiver Isaiah Johnson-Mack announced his intention to leave Pullman for a school closer to home. The sophomore wide receiver from Belgrade, Florida, made an announcement on his Twitter account. Johnson-Mack did not clarify where he plans to transfer or if he intends to play in the Cougars bowl game later this month. Johnson-Mack started every game at the Z wide receiver position for WSU this season and finished as the Cougars' third leading receiver with 60 receptions and over 500 yards receiving. The 6'3" receiver also caught 5 touchdowns this season.
For the second consecutive year, the Washington State Cougars volleyball team received an at-large bid to the NCAA Women's Volleyball Championship Tournament. The Cougars are 17-15 overall and 6-14 in Pac-12 conference play. The Cougars played Florida State in the first round today in Lincoln, Nebraska.
The WSU men's basketball team will host UC Davis this Saturday as they look to continue their undefeated season. I met with the team on Wednesday to discuss how they plan to keep the streak going.
The WSU men's basketball team continued their undefeated season after winning the Wooden Legacy Tournament by taking on UC Davis this Saturday. Now, even though the WSU men's basketball team is currently undefeated at 6-0, they are not letting the record get to their head, as they are simply going into each game hoping to come out with a record of 1-0.
This team is not going to look beyond another game. And I always talk about you don't get too up when you're having success. You don't get too down when you're struggling. Just get ready, because the games come so fast. We have 24+ more games coming up. So there's a lot of basketball to play.
Junior guard Viante Daniels says he already sees a difference in the team from last year to this.
We have this will to win. We have great chemistry. I think last year's team just had a lot of individual selfishness, and I think this year's team, everybody wants it for everybody. We work hard for our teammate and work hard for each other.
Players like Malachi Flynn hope to keep the team's success going on Saturday.
Just that same energy we came with in the tournament, that same confidence. If we do that, I think we'll have a pretty good chance at winning.
The Cougs will face off Saturday against UC Davis in Beasley Coliseum at noon. Derek Baker, Murrow News 8.
Right now, the WSU women's basketball faces off with the University of Idaho in Beasley Coliseum. The WSU Cougars are 3-4, and the Idaho Vandals stand at 5-1. WSU and the University of Idaho have played 6 times, with the Cougs leading the series 4-2, including wins in the last 3 matchups. The most recent meeting came in 2014, with the Cougs dominating 84-34. The 50-point margin of victory is the 3rd largest win in WSU program history. Washington State University women's soccer head coach Todd Schulenberg agreed to a contract extension that will run until 2023. Schulenberger helped the Cougars reach the 3rd round of the NCAA tournament for the first time in school history this year. The victories over Central Florida and Tennessee are the first for the soccer club in the postseason since 2009. Coming up, Derek gives you the highlights of a busy night in sports.
And later we'll give you the rundown of college football championship weekend.
When you're out there, there's no telling what you'll find.
I see it, I see it! Oh, look at you.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
The great outside.
My new mom and I have a lot in common.
So shiny.
We both love the outdoors.
That's not a flower.
And she knows a lot about wildlife.
A labradoodle.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are. If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play or even what you wear. You just need to be there. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
The Dallas Cowboys ended their 3-game losing streak when they defeated the Washington Redskins 38-14 on Thursday Night Football. Alfred Morris led the charge with 127 rushing yards and a touchdown against his old team. Dak Prescott had a bounce-back game where he threw 2 touchdown passes, one to Jason Witten. This touchdown pass to Dez Bryant right here was historic for the Cowboys as he became the Cowboys' all-time leader in touchdown receptions. Kirk Cousins had an okay game, thrown for 251 yards and 2 touchdowns, but had 2 interceptions and a fumble, which ultimately cost them the game. The Cavaliers have won 10 consecutive games, and the Cavaliers are currently 3rd place in the East after defeating the Hawks last night. After a slow start to the season, Tyronn Lue, the Cleveland Cavaliers head coach, is placing special emphasis on defense during the winning streak. Before the streak, the Cleveland Cavaliers record was under 500, and they were highly questioned to make the playoffs. The Cleveland Cavaliers have made the NBA Finals each of the last 3 seasons since LeBron's return. The Boston Celtics defeated the Philadelphia 76ers 108-97 last night at the TD Garden. Kyrie Irving scored 36 points on 12 of 21 shooting, while Al Horford added 21 points and 5 assists. Joel Embiid did not play last night due to a scheduled rest. The 76ers hold a 1-3 record without Embiid this season. The Boston Celtics lead the NBA in wins with 19 and are coming off a 16-game win streak, while the 76ers have won 6 of their last 10. Coming up, it's Conference Championship Week for college football. We'll give you the rundown of every big game this weekend, and later the Giants fans are pushing back against the decision to bench Eli Manning.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish!
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Can you help me with this? My new dad teaches me all kinds of stuff.
Sure.
He helps me with homework.
That would be 3.6795.
Thanks.
Yep.
He helps me with my decision making.
I wouldn't use this one. Ever.
And he's even teaching me how to drive.
And that's why cars have bumpers.
I'm learning so much.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
Tonight at Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara, the USC Trojans and Stanford Cardinal face off in the Pac-12 Championship. USC is the Pac-12 South champions, boasts a 10-2 record, and is coming off a bye week, while Stanford is 9-3, defeating Notre Dame at home last weekend. The game kicks off at 5 p.m. on ESPN.
The Oklahoma Sooners will play Texas Christian University in the Big 12 championship game tomorrow. The Sooners are ranked 3rd in the nation, and a win could secure them a playoff spot in the NCAA college football playoffs. TCU comes in at ranked 11th in the country. The game will be held at 9:30 a.m. at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas.
In a rematch for the 2014 Big Ten championship game, Wisconsin and Ohio State will meet at Lucas Oil Stadium with the sturdy legs of freshman running back Jonathan Taylor. The Badgers are hoping to gain a different result than the last time these two teams met in the championship game. Ohio State hopes to come home with a win in their 3rd college football playoff trip in 4 years.
Tomorrow, the #1 ranked Clemson Tigers will take on the #7 Miami Hurricanes in the 2017 ACC Championship. The Tigers need one more win to secure their 3rd straight trip to the college football playoffs, but a Hurricane victory could potentially give them a playoff spot and their first ever ACC Championship. The game will be at 5 p.m. and will air on ABC.
After beating undefeated Alabama last weekend in the Iron Bowl, the Auburn Tigers advanced to the SEC Conference Championship to take on the Georgia Bulldogs at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. 3 weeks ago, Georgia went on the road and lost to Auburn 40-17. However, with this game being played in Atlanta, it promises to be a much less hostile crowd for Georgia.
Coming up, New York Giants fans are upset about the benching of Eli Manning.
Plus, Rick Pitino is suing the University of Louisville.
Yeah, I think that.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
Former head basketball coach Rick Pitino sued the University of Louisville Athletic Association for little more than $37.5 million. Pitino claimed breach of contract due to his placement on unpaid administrative leave without notice, then getting fired last month with no legally justification. Louisville fired Pitino for bribery and fraud in college basketball relating to recruits and their relationship with Adidas, sports agents, and financial advisors.
Earlier this week, head coach of the New York Giants, Ben McAdoo, announced the team would bench Eli Manning for their upcoming game against the Oakland Raiders. In response, Giants fans put up this billboard in New Jersey shaming the organization. Manning, as a favorite, has been the starting quarterback for 210 straight games, literally every game for the Giants since 2004.
Eagles safety Malcolm Jenkins will no longer raise his fist during the national anthem. The Eagles play this week against the Seattle Seahawks. His decision comes just after the NFL pledged to contribute $89 million over 7 years to project dealings with criminal justice reform, law enforcement, community relations, and education.
So yeah, what do you think about the Seahawks, Nick? I mean, the 10-1 Eagles, and we got them playing at home. What do you think?
I mean, I'm certainly excited. I think the Hawks will be able to pull it out by a little bit. Should be a pretty close game, but the Eagles are good this year.
Hawks are a phenomenal team in primetime games as well, so it's going to be a great matchup.
Definitely, definitely. And that is all we have for you in this edition of WSU's Cougar Corner on Murrow News 8.
Join us every Friday night, and don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Yeah, I think that, they're the same.